Hi guys, it's Bill the Concert DVD guy again. I don't have a DVD today to review for you, but I once before tried to get a topic discussion going, and it didn't work so well. But I'm going to try a different topic. The last one was on the word slut, and was it fair or unfair, or sexist, or what have you. But apparently, you all weren't too interested in that one. I didn't maybe get 45 hits. So that one didn't fly, flat out. So I was thinking of other topics to put out there to see if I couldn't get more interest and more comments on. And the one that has sort of been resonating in my head is, how do we feel about sex before marriage in the year 2010? Both from the point of view of the parent, which would be like myself. I'm a parent of three daughters, and also I think from the well, I wouldn't call them kids exactly, but young people. You could weigh in from your point of view. Um, the religious people, if there's religious people want to put in their 2 cents, that'd be great. Also, my father was a very religious person. My mother was a very religious person. So as we were growing up, uh, we were both, my brothers and my sisters, were told very strictly that sexual activity prior to marriage was taboo, and you'd be pretty much felt like you'd be cut out of the family. Um, so there was a lot of emotional and physical, because my father could beat you if he wanted to. If he wanted to hit you, he'd hit you hard. Pressure to obey, but yet the physical urge, or the natural urge of life, for a lot of us overcame that, and we took a chance, and some of us got caught, some didn't. But the fact is, we did it anyway. Or I think most of us did anyway. And so then I became a father myself, and so I had to have similar conversations with my own daughters, and I made it clear that it was not forbidden, because so often I found that the girls will, just to spite their parents, if the parents are being very, put their thumb to the, really thumb down on them, that they're liable to have rebellion sex. They'll just grab any old asshole that they can find and take them to bed, just so they can say, ah ha ha, you can't tell me. And oftentimes they have a lot of emotional pain and the possibility of STDs and whatever else. And so I wanted to be sure that my daughters would not have emotional baggage, number one, and would not have the need to purposely just grab some jackass just to say, aha, daddy, I'll show you. It's my body. I'll do what I want. So I sat them down and I said, look, I said, you have choices. You can choose to wait and have sex before you marry, or rather wait and not have sex before you marry, or you could choose to have sex before you marry. This is a choice that you are going to need to make for your own self. And you'll have to make that decision based on how you feel and what expectations you have. And I said, I will support you either way. So if your choice is to have sex prior to marriage, then we want to make sure we have protection. We want to make sure we know about STDs, and we want to know about AIDS, and we want to know about pregnancy, and we want to know about all of the issues that are involved. And of course, we want to know about the emotional issues that, how are you going to feel if he says, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then he has the action, and then afterwards he's as cold as ice and can't get away from you far enough. Unfortunately, this can happen. So I wanted them to be prepared for that possibility. And, certainly you don't want to go to the other end of the extreme where, you're just being walked all over and used as a, pincushion kind of thing. So as a result, my daughters are primarily actually on the conservative side of sexuality, of their own choice. They've never had to do any kind of rebellious sexual behavior, because there was nothing to rebel against. I I did not make it forbidden like my father made it forbidden. I did not make it forbidden. I didn't feel right about that. And also because I was sexually active prior to my marriage, I certainly couldn't feel right stating to my children, "Oh, you must be, virgins, or I'll kick you out of the family." That's two-faced. That's disgusting, in my opinion. That's not right. You can't say what's good for me is not good for you, or I'm allowed to, but you're not. That's sexist nonsense, and I won't be a part of that ever. So, at any rate, I would love to hear from the parents. I get a kick out of this very conservative Christian family, the Duggars on TLC, and there's no doubt in their family that they will be waiting until marriage. They're not even allowed to have like a little peck on the cheek or peck on the lips kind of a kiss. They have to be engaged apparently just to hold hands. Just to hold hands, they have to be engaged. Prior to engagement, there can't be any touch of each other whatsoever. As much as I have respect for them and that they carry out the courage of their convictions, kind of a thing, I think it's too much. Truthfully, I think it's a little too much, a little too strong. They can't wear swimsuits. They're not allowed to wear swimsuits. They have to wear virtually full pair of clothing to go swimming, because they're not permitted to show anything. Their thighs aren't allowed to be seen. Portions of the legs even, certainly not their top. There's everything is very covered up. And they call it being modest. I don't know. But what I worry about is, and this is something that happened to me once many, many years ago. I met a lady that I really liked, and she seemed to really like, well, she definitely did like me. And this is many, many years ago, probably 25 years ago. And I was physically attracted to her, and she was physically attracted to me, and we dated and so on. And eventually we got to know each other well enough, and the relationship progressed to the point where we wanted to become physical. And we did. And the unfortunate truth of the matter is, it was the worst sex both of us ever had. I was not making her happy. She was not making me happy. We just were like two ships passing in the night when it came to sex. And it was awkward, it was uncomfortable, and subsequently the relationship died as a result of it. Within a week after the encounter, we were going other directions, both of us. So my thought was, had I taken the Duggars route, the real strict Christian route, and married this woman, I would be married to somebody with lousy sex. And she in turn would be married to somebody with lousy sex. And I don't see that as, I see that as a recipe for disaster. I don't see people staying in relationships where they're not being fulfilled. Period. Especially on the area of sexuality. That's a huge portion of the relationship. So I wonder if anybody else has had that experience. But I wonder why with the Christian people that are that strict and that into it, that adhere to that degree of it, they don't seem to be a problem. They just wait until they get married, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's a lot of them out there that have had miserable times, and they could chime in and leave comments or a video comment or whatever to say that it's been a fallacy, that it's not working as well as it's portrayed to be. But I'm divorced. I've been divorced a long time. I'm still looking for somebody to spend my life with, and I don't necessarily have to get married again, although I would consider it, under the proper circumstances, if I had those strong enough feelings. But that's the topic today. What do we feel about premarital sex from both the point of view of the father and the mother, as well as the point of view of the young people, the siblings of parents, who would actually be the ones engaging. I'd be curious to hear if you're on the conservative side and feel it should wait, and why you feel it should wait. And if you're on the more liberal side and feel it should not wait, I'd like to hear your reasoning on that as well. So I hope this is an interesting topic. I hope this one will get more attention and get more hits than the last one, which went down the toilet as far as I'm concerned.